some of the use cases that we think are pretty interesting is that if you have you have a video, a bunch of sensor data that's streaming off of a device that, with an API and a simple, natural language interface, you could maybe ask it a question. You could say, like, describe what you're seeing right now. You could potentially say, hey, can you send me a notification every time you see something like this? You see somebody fall down. Now, right now, if you wanted to create, say, a system that detected when somebody fell, maybe you'd have to create a model or something like that. But with these types of tools, you make it so that maybe you just say, hey, just let me know the last time in this video stream that you saw somebody fall down. And so it makes it so that you could grab real-time data, but it also makes it so you could search the data too. So you could say, hey, I've got 24 hours of video saved. Maybe you're a construction site and you're the safety manager. And you say, can you point me to the points in the last 24 hours when we saw something that was dangerous that was happening, something where somebody wasn't wearing their safety equipment, something like that. And so I think that that's really interesting for us. We do believe with the cloud application layer that we have, that we can enable that type of technology pretty well. And we're kind of exploring the ways that can be, I guess we'll call it a really meaningful step in the journey to really democratizing, computer vision, making it so that something like that would be pretty difficult for an engineer to do classically.
Definitely. Where
it could be something where, anybody that's even not a coder would be able to, grab some cameras and just start doing some natural language prompts and, find out what's going on and set things up. So it's definitely exciting, something we're exploring. There's some really promising new companies and startups that are tackling this. I know, like, a lot of the latest crop of startups over the last couple of years have been founded around, working on this type of use case.
Cool. Yeah, what a nice thing that is. I mean, I haven't thought of it, but the ability to search data really quick, like search video really quickly, would be incredible. If you could say, hey, take me to the moment this is happening. And it goes, oh, yeah, here you go. That would be awesome. I wonder, like, one of the things that I thought was really cool, and I built a little prototype of this for some side projects, was you take an image and then you have it select from a few options. So it's kind of like image does all of its thinking, and then it selects like one of a few options, which might be like drive a robot forward, turn around, pick up an object, whatever. I feel like this kind of thing is very useful too, just for like prototyping stuff. Or even, I mean, they're real simple applications that people could have, or even more sophisticated ones that you could do with this kind of framework.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that, one really cool video that's out there is, say, the Figure AI humanoid, and, it's looking at the table and it says, what do you think you should do next? And there's like a dirty dish, and it's like, I should probably put the dirty dish and put it in the dishwasher. And so I think that's really interesting when you think about kind of these behavior models for robotics companies that are working on kind of prototyping what's possible. And I think that's where that real-time understanding of video can be really useful, so that you would be able to practice different prompts based on this scene that you're seeing. What are the 3 next steps that you could see that you'd want to take? And, a way that it can really start to learn. And what it really tackles is that, robotics have been used for decades in really big scaled environments, but they're very controlled, right? So this could be, say like a automobile manufacturing plant. It's doing the same task a million times over and over. It doesn't even need vision, right? It's doing it on a precision basis. You're taking this item, you're putting it here, things like that. And when you go into these unstructured environments, that's where it's, of course, really challenging, because the scene's always changing. It's navigating something that's never happened before. It's a scene that's never existed in all of history because it's completely unique. and that's where I think that like I said, the real time understanding could be really interesting on kind of prompting those next steps and what have you.